If you guys have been paying attention to the news, I know you've been noticing lately a lot of news that's been coming out about massive changes that's going to be impacting people in 2025 when it comes to credit. Guess what? In this video, we are going to talk about some of these changes, things you need to know, and the things that you need to start preparing for so you're not caught off guard for any of these things that are happening in 2025. Man, it's a lot to cover. You want to catch this entire video, so let's not wait any further. Let's get straight into it.
This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Respect My Blueprint show. Man, if this is your first time checking out the channel, do me a huge favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You definitely want to go ahead and check out what we are going to share with you guys today. This video, as I mentioned a little earlier in the preview, there's a lot of news that's coming out about massive changes in 2025 when it comes to credit scores, credit reports, and just people credit all in general. So yes, I decided to go ahead and release this video because, you know, these changes are big, astronomical, and it's gonna change everybody's. This is going to impact everyone's credit situation. Some of these changes are good, some of them not so good. The main thing is I want to go ahead and share this with everyone so you're not caught off guard or you are able to go ahead and prepare for this. All right, as somebody that's involved in the credit space, I feel it's my obligation to share this with you guys as well as letting you know what's going on. Without any further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, the first big thing that I want to go ahead and share with everybody is the removal of medical debts from credit reports. Now, this is a game changer, and this ultimately is going to impact a lot of individuals coming in 2025, right? So starting March 17th, so depending on when you're watching this video, this has already started taking effect. A new federal rule is going to require that all medical debt is removed off of individuals' credit reports. So even ones that's under $500. So man, this is a game changer. This is dope. I like this one right here. All right. To give a little context into this one right here, starting in January, the CFPB announced a new rule that's going to remove all medical debt from credit reports. Now, this rule, again, was supposed to take effect within 60 days after the ruling in January. So that's why March 17th is maturity date for this particular rule. And it's expected to erase nearly $49 billion in unpaid medical debt from individuals' credit reports, potentially boosting credit scores by up to 20 points for approximately 15 million Americans. So this right here is a big sweeping change for a lot of people that's impacted by medical debt. If you may not be aware, medical debt is one of the top 2 negative items that's impacting individuals' credit reports. So this right here is going to be an improvement for a lot of people that has a medical debt on their credit report. And this sort of builds upon rule that was announced back in 2023, where the big 3 credit reporting agencies have agreed to remove all medical debt that was below $500 off of credit reports. The CFPB is building upon this with this new rule to not just medical debt under 500, just all medical debt. This finalized, it comes into effect. Again, all medical debt is not going to appear on anyone's credit report. So if you have any medical debt that's currently on your credit report or negatively impacting you, you should definitely, after this rule effect on the 17th, check your credit report. Make sure that if it is on your report, just go ahead and dispute it directly with the credit reporting agency. You don't have to hire a credit repair specialist or search for any loophole or anything like that. Just write a simple letter directly to the credit reporting agencies, and now they're required to remove all medical debt off of your credit report. Now, there is 2 lawsuits that's challenging this and that's working its way through the court system right now. However, the way that it's looking right now and the way that it stands, this thing here, it definitely has some legs. And if you want my opinion, I feel like this is something that's going to stand and should be able to go ahead and help a lot of individuals that's being hurt, right? So again, March 17th is when this rule should take place.
If your credit ain't high and it's actually down, the time to take action is now. Yeah. If your credit ain't high and it's actually down, the time to take action is now. Go get control of your credit, it'll go and repair.
Listen, I've been getting a lot
down. Oh yes, to show you the leverage, to show you can get a new rider. Go get you a house, just so you don't feel despair, you don't feel embarrassed. It's right, so go get it done now. Don't survive through the week, go improve, get it up. Want a life full of freedom to do what you want. He's a guy that you need, he's a dude that you want. Not 5 minus 3, that's 2, number 1. Guy you will see if you hit him up. He'll help with devotion, this I am sure of. Updates, promotions, discounted courses. Work with him anywhere, buddies in Florida. Credit will get repaired. Yes, it will.
Moving on into the second major change that's happening in 2025 as far as impacting everyone's credit score is the resumption of student loan payments. Now, this right here is something a lot of people do not want to hear about or want to run away from. But guess what? Hey, this has been a long time coming and it is back, guys. Yes. As I mentioned, student loan payments are going to start resuming again, and it's already causing a lot of stress for a lot of people as the past 4 years since the pandemic, the past administration has been pausing student loan payments, right? But guess what? The 3-year pause on student loan repayments has ended and student loan payments are back. And matter of fact, President Trump latest push to shrink the Department of Education, the agency of its most affordable federal student loan repayment plans. Most notably, the one that's affected a lot of people is the SAVE program. And this right here has already caused delinquencies to skyrocket as millions of people are struggling to keep up with student loan payments now that it's being required to be repaid again. As a matter of fact, there's a report out that came from the Washington Post that said 1 out of 5 borrowers who are supposed to be repaying their federal student loans are more than 90 days late. So if you put that in context, that's more than 4 million borrowers since February that are 90 days late on their student loan payments. All right. So that's over 4 million people that's being affected by this. If you're one of the millions of people out there that's being affected by it, this is definitely going to affect your credit score. Okay. Especially if you're behind on your payments. And of course, you may not be aware of this, but being late on student loan payments can trigger certain actions such as wage garnishments, seizing of your income tax returns, or other measures that the government may take to be able to go ahead and effectuate the payments of these student loans. I want everyone who has a student loan out there to be aware of this. There are several options out there. Of course, I'm not here to give you legal advice. I'm not a legal expert. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I want to make sure I clearly state that. But you definitely want to exercise your options out there, whether it's consolidating your student loan or reaching out to the Department of Education, what's left of it, right, to see what options that you do have so you're not being impacted by this particular rule. Again, student loan payments are resuming again this year if you haven't been impacted by this already. So the Biden era of pausing the student loans, that period is over with. As I mentioned, the government is resuming payments to address the student loan crisis, and it's definitely going to have an impact for a lot of individuals and their credit scores when it comes to student loans. All right. Now, the third major thing that I want to touch on as far as what's going to impact a lot of individuals when it comes to the credit scores, and this right here is going to be significant, which is buy now, pay later platforms are going to start being included in your credit report. Yes. Okay. So buy now, pay later services, you guys may be aware of a lot of these companies, right? Such as Afterpay, Klarna. Whenever you go to shopping, right, they'll offer you this option on the checkout that you could buy the item now, but pay for it later, just like the title says, right? So if you've been using these services, this is something you probably are accustomed with these platforms. But guess what? The change, what's going to occur now, these companies are going to start reporting your payment history to the credit bureaus. All right. So if you're using these services, this is definitely going to have the same impact like a traditional loan and a traditional credit card. In other words, if you're somebody that's been using these platforms responsibly and not have been overextending and overusing them, guess what? This is a great way to be able to go ahead and boost your credit score, as this new alternative data can help you be able to go ahead and add positive reporting history on your credit report. However, you do want to keep in consideration having one too many of these or a negative behavior, this is definitely going to drop your credit score. And I want everyone to be aware of this, because accumulating multiple of these loans is going to drop your average age of credit history, because these short-term loans are only structured for you to have only for a short amount of time. And every time you have one of these loans and end up paying them off, that drops your credit history. All right. And that's ultimately going to end up dropping your credit score as well, too. So you definitely want to be mindful of the amount of these loans that you're racking up in a short amount of time. All right. But to get back into the context of it, these buy now, pay later companies have partnered with FICO to be able to start incorporating these into credit reports. There was a study that was conducted, and they have to the conclusion that a lot of consumers would be able to benefit from having these platforms report on the credit reports. As a matter of fact, it states that over 85% of consumers, based upon this study, had seen an increase of 10 points or more with the inclusion of these platforms. If you want my personal opinion, again, you definitely want to be mindful. Of course, having anything positively report on your credit is definitely helpful, but the context of them, just like anything else, right? Having a credit card or a car payment, if you're paying it responsibly, you're doing what you're supposed to do, thumbs up. But if not, hey, definitely can drop your credit score. So you should be able to see this guy's going to start be rolling out more and more this year, if it hasn't been already, starting to appear on consumer credit reports. So that's something that I want a lot of people to be aware of, as the popularity of these things definitely going to start appearing on your credit report. All right. Now, the last and final thing that I want to share with everybody as far as what's going to be impacting a lot of individuals in 2025 with their credit score, this is another game changer, which is Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to start using Vantage 4.0 and FICO for mortgages. Now, this right here is for all my homeowners, everybody that's been looking to purchase a home this year. Guess what? There's going to be a major change on how you'll be able to qualify for a mortgage while buying your home. As Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they are the two big players in the mortgage market. They have announced they're going to start using the Vantage 4.0 scoring model later on this year for applications instead of the traditional FICO model. Okay, now this is a shift, as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac want to be able to have more individuals be qualified for mortgages, and to also make mortgages more accessible for borrowers out there. So this, of course, is going to change the way that credit is evaluated for mortgages, as well as give people a better opportunity to be able to qualify for home ownership. Now, this is good news in some sense, but also on the flip side, I want to give you both sides of the coin here. All right. Now, if you may not be aware, FICO 10T and Vantage 4.0, these are two new scoring models that are going to start incorporating trending data as well as alternative data as well too. Now, this right here are new scoring models that's supposed to, of course, help individuals that have thin profiles or that are struggling to be able to build credit to have more non-traditional types of credit included on their credit report, as well as track more of individuals' past behavior of their credit as well too. So in that sense, it is a positive, because guess what? It allows more opportunity to have credit to be assessed, and also give more data points for lenders to be able to assess individuals' credit worthiness. But on the flip side, if you're someone who have been, number one, carrying high balances over a period of time, or been having past negative behavior with your credit, you can see a drop on your credit scores. Or by the inclusion of this could also have you seem as a higher risk to lenders when it comes to being approved for a mortgage using these new scoring models. So if you're thinking about applying for a mortgage 2025, you want to make sure that you're tracking your FICO 10T and your Vantage 4.0 scoring model, and ask the lender, are they going to be using these new scoring models when it comes to qualifying you for a mortgage? Now, if you want my personal opinion, a lot of these new scoring models, really, although they're being released, it really won't have any impact unless mortgage brokers, mortgage companies, and real estate professionals end up utilizing these particular scoring models. If they see that the cost of business is still beneficial for them to use what they've been using up until this point, why would they go ahead and spend the extra money, redo their whole systems and everything like that to incorporate this new scoring scoring models. The jury is still out. However, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have made the decision that they're going to start incorporating this. So if you are trying to apply for a mortgage that is backed by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, more than likely are going to be using this new scoring model when you do apply for a mortgage. So that's something that you definitely want to keep in mind. Although interest rates are not at the best position where they are right now, I don't advocate for you to be buying a home. As you guys can see right before our eyes, the real estate market here in Florida and other parts of the country is literally crashing. So, you may want to go ahead and sit on the sidelines for a little bit before you decide to go ahead and jump into the realm of home ownership. But you know what? The decision is still up to you. I just want to bring you awareness as far as the major changes that's coming this year when it comes to the new scoring models and how it's going to affect you when it comes into home ownership. All right. So those are the four major things that's occurring this year, as literally going to impact a lot of individuals. If you want my opinion, the first one is going to have the most substantial impact. Of course, like I mentioned, starting March 17th, it's going to be illegal to have any type of medical debt to be reporting on anybody's credit report, no matter what the amount is. So if you're someone that has any type of medical debt on your credit report, starting March 17th, go ahead and send a dispute letter directly to the credit bureaus, as by law that is supposed to be removed off of your credit report and not included in any way, shape, or form. Also, number two, like I mentioned, if you're someone that has a student loan and for the past 3-4 years, you've been riding the wave of having your student loan payments paused, guess what? They are resuming again, as the Department of Education not only is resuming the payments of student loans, but also a lot of these income payment programs and everything have all been suspended. They've actually suspended the applications for these programs. So a lot of people are now falling into debt when it comes to student loan payments. So you're going to see a lot of people credit scores impacted, as during the pause of the student loan servicers were prohibited from reporting it to your credit reporting agencies. Guess what? Now that they're resuming payments, they're going to start reporting these on individuals' credit reports again. So we are going to start seeing a lot of people impacted by this. Buy now, pay later companies and service providers, they're going to start reporting these on your credit report, guys. Again, it all depends which side of the insurance, how this is going to affect you. If you're somebody that really doesn't abuse type of service, or you really don't utilize it as much, you should see a raise on this if you're being very responsible. However, I do express, guys, exercise caution, because again, racking up too many of these in a short amount of time, although you may be making your payments on them and moving responsibly, it is going to drop your credit score. I'm going to say this again, getting too many buy now, pay later loans in a short amount of time is going to hurt your credit score, because it is going to drop the average age of your credit history, which is one of the 5 factors of your credit score. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, the inclusion of Vantage 4.0 and 10T now when it comes into home ownership, as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are going to start using these scoring models when it comes into approving individuals for home loans. Now, Vantage 4.0 and FICO 10T, these are new scoring models. I won't get too deep into them. I glanced upon it a little bit, but nevertheless, they are going to be released this year. 2 of the major mortgage players are going to start utilizing them. So you want to start tracking these new scoring models, as they're going to have an impact on you if you are looking to go ahead and get into home ownership this year. All right. Listen, if you guys want more information about these, let me know or if you want to know more things that's being rolled out this year, if you want to know more things that's coming out this year, you definitely want to follow the channel. So what I've covered are, in my opinion, it's time to start taking action, start preparing for these changes. Checking your credit report is going to be making sure that your credit report is free from any inaccuracies, making sure that you're disputing any discrepancies on your credit report that's violating the Fair Credit Reporting Act. Okay. Also, staying on top of your student loan payments if you're a student loan borrower, as well as making sure if you're going to get into home ownership that you're tracking your new FICO 10T and Vantage 4.0 scoring models. All right. Let me know your guys' thoughts about this. These are 4 changes that's going to literally impact majority of everybody of this year. If there's any changes to any of these laws, because some of these, they're still subject to change. A lot of them are not conclusive. If there's anything that adjusts or change or any updates on them, I'm going to be sure to let you know about them. Don't worry, I got got you. All right. But other than that, if you want to stay up to date on the latest news on what's going on in the world of personal finance, entrepreneurship, and business, definitely check out the channel, hit the bell notification or the subscribe button so you can keep up to date with everything that we have going on. Also, drop in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts is about these 4 changes. These are 4 trending changes that everybody is talking about. So I definitely want to hear you guys' thoughts about this. Do you think it's going to impact you? Let me know about 1, 2, 3. All right, let's have a discussion about it and see if we can go ahead and bring awareness or even help somebody else out there who may not be aware of this as well. All right, but thanks for tapping in. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Take care, be safe, and I will catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Blueprint, yeah. Blueprint. This conversation about building up your blueprint. It's time to take it cause time is wasted. Go grind and chase it, don't lose it. This generation need integration with information to move with. An inclination that is abiding in entertaining improvement. Yep, 𝗥𝗲𝗹𝗁 with Blueprint. This guests are exclusive. Get on and tune in and then learn some new tips about credit, finance, investment. A nice chance to get rich and buy land. Flip it, quick 9 bands. Learn all the skills from Wes, he did it. Learn how to build successful business. Run up a mill and get the digits. Run up a mill. Look, safe place where guests are speaking. Based off financial freedom. All facts, no cap, believe it. Podcast, you have to see it.